Mike. Do you know what day it is?
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Welcome into Let's Bet It. We had a full night of baseball as we are into the last week of the MLB season. Things are heating up, getting exciting, and coming down to the wire. Lauren Jbara here with Jared Smith here to break it all down. Did you like that intro today? Pretty good.
You always keep me on my toes when we're doing these little intros and closes and the little parts in between the actual meat of the broadcast. It's the glue that holds it together, LJ, and you are the glue, no doubt.
You got to keep it fun. You got to keep it exciting, Jared. All right. Before we get into everything for today, I want to talk a little bit about your current or former of any sport, your favorite player that you enjoyed watching or meeting over all the years that you've been living.
Ooh. So I was thinking about this last night. So I had an awesome moment with Wayne Corbett one time, who was like my favorite Jets player growing up. And if you know anything about Wayne Corbett, he's like the ultimate, like everyman's Long Island guy, played at Hofstra, undrafted. And when you see him, he's like smaller than me. And I'm only like 6 feet tall, but he is. And he's one of the nicest guys out there. And this was before I really got into like sports, media. I was in college at the time, and he was very nice, was able to sign a jersey for me. And I still have the jersey here. So thank you, Wayne Corbett. You are an everyman, an everyman's receiver. And I wish the Jets could win for you this week. Hopefully, maybe, probably not though.
I love it. I absolutely love it. My favorite was Boban Marjanovic. So I used to work for the Detroit Pistons, and it was when he was playing for the Pistons. And every single time I would go to interview him, he'd just like set his arm like this on top of my head because he's 7'3" and I'm 5'3". So there was a solid 2 foot difference.
Solid.
I mean, I didn't even
big spread.
Like it was wild. Like I probably came up to his belly button, if that. Like honestly, it was so funny. But he was one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. Like
that's good.
Genuinely cares about people, and what you see on camera is actually how he is in person too. So
it's hard because sometimes these guys are not like you envision in your head, and we get to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff because of our jobs. But sometimes they're not as nice or as cool as they appear. But it's nice when they are, because you get that warm and fuzzy feeling.
I know. I love it. And many more to come, many more to meet throughout this wonderful life of ours, Jared, okay?
Wonderful
all right, speaking of things that we're talking about today, back to the futures. We're getting a little bit into the futures with NFL. We're also talking about the MLB picks. Important games, because there are a ton of them, a ton of great games going on as the wild card race is heating up. Only 5-6 more days left in the regular season. It's going to be fun. And then we can't end without our Pickswise play of the day. Are you ready for it? Let's bet it. All right, back to the futures. NFL. I always say Marty McFly style because I just love using it. So we're going Marty McFly style, taking it back to the futures. We've been keeping an eye on the NFL futures market because things are changing every single day. So tell me a little bit about the futures that you have right now and more that you're kind of looking at heading into the future, I guess.
The future of the futures. And we're going to live in the present. We're going to try to examine the present of the futures and not live in the past, right? Okay, so just keep talking myself in circles until we finally get to the end of the show, right? So if you've been watching the show, if you've been following along on social media and kind of the way that I handle the futures market, I view it as this like buy low, sell high investment vehicle that I will continue to add to throughout the course of the season. So the first wave of it obviously came in the preseason. I feel pretty good about where my preseason positions are. I feel really good about the Titans winning the AFC South. That was a gift at plus money. That's almost minus 500. I've seen minus 600, 700 at some shops now, which is not a certainty, but as close to a certainty as you're going to get heading into week 4 of the NFL season. The toss-up right now is the Niners. I really wish we got that win on Sunday night against the Packers. We're still okay at 10.5, I think. But anytime you lose a game that they're supposed to win, which is what happened, they were favored to win that game Sunday night, you're kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. They're going to need to win on Sunday against Seattle, or else I'm going to start to feel really, squirrely about that pick. I think the other.
I love the adjective squirrely, by the way. I just have the best visual, just squirrely. You know what I mean? Sorry.
Let's get those little heebie. I won't feel good if Russell Wilson strolls into town this weekend and drops a big number on my Niners. The offensive rookie of the year market, I've been playing that market like a lever, up and down. So our first initial investment was on Justin Fields. I still think he has a chance to win this award if Matt Nagy, again, like yesterday I said, pulls his head out of his ass. But I also think there are some other contenders emerging. I did buy Mac Jones, and then this week I bought Ja'Marr Chase because I think the Bengals now are starting to show that they're a pretty good team. And on the other side of the coin, the quarterbacks, I thought one of the quarterbacks was for sure going to win, O'Roy, but the quarterback markets look pretty weak so far. Lawrence and Wilson are throwaways. Fields is still hanging around, and obviously Mac Jones, I think, is the favorite of the quarterbacks. But I see an opening for Ja'Marr Chase if he has one of those years like Saquon had 3 years ago when he won the award. That could be an interesting kind of dark horse candidate emerging. The coach of the year market's very interesting as well. I bought it on Belichick early. I don't like that pick now because I think the Patriots are not going to be that good this year, not going to win enough games. Matt Rule is a player. And also Brandon Staley now with the Chargers. I think that's a guy that's emerging. He's kind of moved into the catbird seat. I haven't bought in on him yet. I know you're big on Herbert and the Chargers this year. Staley's a guy that could benefit from those things being good, the Chargers being good, and Justin Herbert having another big year. So the coach of the year market, I think, is interesting as well. I'll be honest, Micah Parsons is the best defensive player on the planet right now, other than maybe Myles Garrett. He's the highest graded rookie. I got in on him to win D-Roy. And then also, I do think the Dak Prescott Comeback Player of the Year award is a pretty good pick at plus money.
Yeah, Dak Prescott. I mean, he's been absolutely on fire this season, but I really do like your Brandon Staley pick because, I mean, I'm riding the Chargers.
That was Jack. Jack pointed me out to that yesterday. Kudos to producer Jack.
I love it. I mean, I'm already in on the Justin Herbert for MVP this season, plus 2,000 I got in on. I don't know what he's at right now, but I mean, you look at this Sunday, right? He led the team to a road win against Kansas City Chiefs. And I mean, I don't know. Like he was the 2020 Rookie of the Year. He came out firing this season, outplayed Patrick Mahomes. He had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And if people are still saying that this guy's like not the real deal, I mean, what are you doing, right?
He's the real deal.
He trusts himself. He trusts his arm. I'm calling him Herbie now. I love Herbie.
Herbie?
I know. I absolutely love him.
He's 11-1 right now on MGM to win MVP. So you're getting some nice value there on your closing ticket.
Absolutely. And if he continues to play the way that he's playing right now, I mean, I don't think that anybody's stopping him at this point. I got in on for the division, the New York Giants.
that's
winning the NFC.
I'll be great. You should be grateful if they win a game this year. Joe Judge looks like he's the. Can we give out awards for worst coach of the year, least valuable coach? I would give it to Joe Judge.
I got in on them at plus 450. Now they're at plus 1,300, and they look every bit as bad as of one of the worst teams in the NFL.
They look really bad. They look really bad.
So
that's okay. It happens.
Maybe that wasn't some of my best work, I will say.
That was a dart. You were just throwing a dart, and it hit the dartboard, and then ricocheted, and then went into the guy standing next to the dartboard, and in his shoulder is like he's got a dart sticking out of it now. Maybe it's Joe Judge's shoulder. Who knows?
But I'm going to totally redeem myself with the Justin Herbert pick, and I'm in on Browns Super Bowl winners now.
Love that.
I mean, Myles Garrett, Browns defense, they made Justin Fields' first career start look like a nightmare on Sunday. And Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, they're running all over people to start the season. And with OBJ back in the lineup, I think they're on the upswing right now. So I'm feeling pretty good about that Browns pick and the Justin Herbert pick. Giants, maybe
that's
not.
Okay. When you're playing in the plus money waters, you don't need to win all of them. You just need to win 1 or 2 to keep you afloat. That's why I like to really shove my chips into the middle with futures, because I feel like if I cast a wide net and I'm getting 10-1, 15-1, I can pick out a couple of winners, and you're going to have action the entire season. Like it's not like week to week where you make your bet on Saturday night, the game happens Sunday, boom, it's over. You got to move on to the next week. It rolls over, and because of the time horizon of that bet, you are getting more bang for your buck. So I love playing in the futures market. I think the novice, more the new bettors don't like it because they like to get the money back in their account right away. But patience Patience is a virtue.
Patience, my friend.
It's very hard to lock up your funds for long term like that, but that's where you get the best value with the sports books.
But at the same time, too, it keeps you invested every single
100%.
week, right? And then you also become like a big fan of these players, too, because that's what it's all about. I love having a little bit of a money in the pot because, I mean, I think Justin Herbert's a great player. I have him as my fantasy quarterback, too. But even before I had him as my fantasy quarterback, I got in on him and being the MVP this season. I just have a really good feeling about it. He's
the Lauren Jbara MVP.
My betting style might not be the same way that other people bet, but it's worked out for me over the last.
You have no shame. You have nothing to apologize for. I was going to tweet out the standings this morning. We both have pretty much the same record in our plays of the day, but you are double the amount of units ahead of me because of your betting style. And everyone has a different, there is no wrong way to do this. This is about entertainment. This is obviously we want to make money, but you're not going to get rich doing this. This is about having fun, entertainment, whatever suits you, whatever floats your boat. That's what I recommend doing because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to sit down and watch these games and either, feel good about yourself, what you're doing, what you're picking or not. And you have to it's all about the self-empowerment.
Exactly. We're just, what you said yesterday, you wake up and it's a new day. New day to bet. New day
Be a goldfish. Just like Ted Lasso. Be a goldfish.
Just swim through the waters. I love it. All right. MLB getting down to the wire. I know we deep dove into it yesterday. I want to talk about it a little bit more. There's 5 days left in the MLB season, but it really is coming down to the wire. So now after last night, we both chose the Cardinals money line. They officially clinched the postseason. So now,
pick by us.
Who's clinched? Giants, Dodgers, Brewers, Rays, White Sox, and now the Cardinals, right? The next one, the Astros won in a walk-off last night. Their magic number is now down to 1. They cut it down. It's going to be really exciting these next 5 days. I know there's a couple games that you really wanted to talk about and get in on. Hit me with them, right?
Yeah, I think so this is the playoffs. And we talked about it yesterday. You throw out the games that are not, have no implications. And we were targeting 5-6 games last night that are kind of those mini, early playoff games that you need to win or else you're not in. Philly, Atlanta, that was a really good game. Philly almost got back in that game. They were down 2-0 pretty much the entire game. They had the winning run 90 feet away. The Yankees-Blue Jays game was a phenomenal game. The Yankees were behind, then they were ahead, then they were behind, then they were ahead, and then Stanton hit an insurance 3-run missile in the later innings that put that game out of reach. By the way, Giancarlo Stanton, don't go near him right now because you're going to burn up. He is on fire. The biggest surprise last night was the Red Sox losing outright to the Orioles. I want to say they were plus 250-ish, plus 200 underdogs, Baltimore in that game. That was the only team that needed to win, the Red Sox, that lost last night. I guess you could put the Blue Jays in that category too, but the Yankees-Blue Jays game was, such a tight game. The Red Sox were the only team that was supposed to win facing a team that had nothing to play for and lost. And that is surprising because when you look at them tonight, I don't know if I can lay minus 250 with the Red Sox after what I saw last night. They've been struggling a little bit. And if you can't beat the Orioles in a must-win game at the end of September, I'm not going to put a lot of faith in you when the calendar turns to October. The National League West, I think, is not decided, but the Giants keep winning, and they've got a 2-game lead now with 5 to play, and it's going to take a 5-0. The Dodgers have to go 5-0, and the Giants would have to go 3-2 just to tie. So that's a big gap to make up in a very short period of time, or should be to go ahead there. So I would be a little weary with the West Coast games tonight because I think the Giants are just a huge favorite in that game against the D-backs, and the Dodgers again face the Padres, who are kind of still feeling like they can ruin the Dodger season a little bit. And that game was close last night too in LA. But I don't know how you can fade the Yanks tonight with Garrett Cole on the mound facing a Blue Jays team that's been on a little struggle bus lately. But we maybe get into that a little later in the show. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Do you? I see on our sheet right here you have Orioles money line tonight.
I think if you had to play that game, that's how I would play it. Just because I'm not willing to lay it with Boston. And listen, Boston should win that game. And minus 250 denotes like a 70% implied odds that Boston is going to win that game. But they lost last night, and now you have to lay it again. And I don't think laying minus 250 is a good bet in baseball. It's not. So if you want to lay it on the run line, you'll chop down the odds a little bit. But I'll be honest, maybe this is my heart talking and not my head.
Yeah.
Baltimore's game. Baltimore is game. Yeah, Jack is the Yankee fan hopeful the Sox lose.
Yeah. Jack says is the Yankees fan hopeful the Sox lose that game.
But here's the thing too, and this is you've covered baseball, and you know it's one of those sports where man, anything can happen on any given day. I know that can happen in any sport, so I don't want to just that's not exclusive to baseball, but Baltimore has nothing to lose. Like they've lost 100 games this year. Yeah. They are playing loose. They are playing. They won last night. They hit a big home run late that put them ahead. And Boston's a little tight. They've also lost 4 games in a row, and we saw it with the Cardinals. When you get on those streaks, the ball keeps rolling down the hill, and Boston's lost 4 in a row. So I'm not going to lay $2 plus for a team that's lost 4 in a row with all the pressure on their shoulders, facing a team in the Orioles that have nothing to play for.
It is incredible sometimes watching these teams towards the end of the season that really don't have anything to play for.
They're loose.
They play their best baseball of the year because they're loose. You know what I mean? They're gripping the bats loose. They're feeling good. They're just having a good time in the locker room. They're throwing bubble gum and seeds at each other at that point. It's just like at that, it's just, hey, we have nothing to play for. Let's just have fun. Let's play the game that we've been playing since we were 3 years old. So I actually kind of like watching. I might tail you on that Orioles bet. I'm looking at the Phillies.
I'm not betting it, but if I had to bet it, I would bet the Orioles. No, there's
I'm
only
not
one.
betting it, but if I was betting,
well, Jack put in the rundown. Hey, make picks for these games. I don't necessarily want to bet this game, but if I was going to bet it, I think I would be very hesitant to lay over $2 with a team that's lost 4 in a row, and they're clearly gripping the bats just a little tight. They only scored 2 runs against Baltimore at Camden Yards, which is a hitter's park. To me, that's a little scary to me. Now, don't get me wrong. The Red Sox could win 10-0 tonight, and everyone will be quiet. Including me. But they need Nathan Eovaldi to pitch really well. So I would be hesitant. How about this? Instead of laying it with the Red Sox tonight, how about you bet an Eovaldi strikeout prop? That's kind of a correlated bet where I could see if he pitches well, then the Red Sox are going to win. Kind of a correlated situation there.
I like it. You know what I am betting tonight? Phillies at Braves. I'm taking the Braves money line at minus 135.
I like this pick a lot.
Because, they won last night. They've won now 8 of their last 9. Their offense ranks 11th with batting average of 244. And I just think that they're going to put the clamps on the NL East in this game. They've been out the last couple of weeks, and they're holding off Philadelphia basically every single turn. So they really have a chance to knock them out in this series. Philly needs to win the next 2, and then they need a little bit of help from other teams as well. So, but I just feel like the Braves are really going to take a stronghold of this series and take a stronghold of the NL East in this game. So I'm feeling pretty good about the Braves money line.
Freed's been great. So Freed's had a weird season. He was going to be one of the aces. Soroka coming into the year was supposed to be an ace for Atlanta. He got hurt. Freed's been in and out of the lineup in the rotation. And lately, he's been phenomenal. I think he's had 2 scoreless starts in his last 2 outings. Meanwhile, Aaron Nola's kind of been on this. I'm using this term a lot today, on the struggle bus. He's had a rough couple of outings. And again, momentum in baseball. Momentum. It's only as good as your next day starting pitcher, but also the offenses kind of feed off of that. And I think Fried is a plus and Nola's a minus. And if Atlanta gets off to a good start again, this is it for Philly. If they lose this game tonight, the magic number goes to 1, which means Atlanta only has to win 1 more game, or Philly has to lose 1 more game the rest of the year, which is that's done. So this is the season for Philly tonight. And if they're come out a little tight like they did last night, they only scored 1 run. I could see the Braves winning this game in a big way. They've been really hot the last couple of weeks. They've really that NL East race got really tight, razor thin. I was wrong yesterday. I thought it was a game difference. They've got a 2.5 game difference, but a week ago it was 1 game. So they've been holding the Phillies off for the last 2 weeks. They can put the nail in the coffin tonight if they get a win.
It's like you're running and someone's chasing you and you're like, oh, I'm tired. Let's just stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just not run anymore. And that's how the Braves are feeling right now.
If they win tonight, they can stop running, or kind of. Exactly. They can start jogging.
Take a little breather until next week, come postseason. All right? Okay, we can't end the show without talking a little bit about the Pickswise play of the day and our own best bets. heading into tonight. So first, Jared, give me the Pickswise play of the day. I know there's a few of them on the website right now. What's one that stands out to you?
So there isn't one for tonight, but I will give one for this weekend because we do have one for college football. It's this Louisville Wake Forest over. And listen, if you're in the mood to, I know you're going to get a great glimpse of this game in Winston-Salem. I've never been to Winston-Salem. I'm excited for you to make the trip. You're going to have to give me the lay of the land, but also I want to know how the track is playing, how the weather is, if these guys, the quarterbacks, coaches, they look like they're ready to roll because we do like the over in this spot. It's a great play for this weekend. Saturday noon, right? Noon Eastern kickoff?
Yeah, 12:30 Eastern time.
12:30 Eastern kickoff. Again, when you look at these two teams, their totals have been really high of late. And their average totals have actually been relatively low compared to where their games have finished. And last year they played a crazy game that went way over the total. So it's a 62 number this year. That's a relatively low number in college football. So that's the only – I don't see – now, again, we're taping this early in the day. We could get a late move by one of the Pickstar cappers that wants to throw down on one of these baseball games. But right now, the only best bet, 3-star play on the board on the Pickswise app is Louisville and Wake Forest over the total of 62.
First of all, I just need to correct you on one thing. It's not Louisville. It's Lowell. You have to kind of roll your Lowell.
I've been to Louisville before. Awesome. They get great. Louisville Slugger. I've been there. Ooh. I saw that the museum. It's really cool.
Ooh, that's kind of exciting, Jared. I love that for you.
Peel back another layer for the onion.
He's been to Louisville before. All right. Cool. Well, all of you Pickswise Nation, get in on this every single week. So follow Pickswise on Twitter to take part. You don't want to miss out. All right. Our best bets of the day. And for the second day in a row, Jared, we have the same exact play. Same exact best bet.
It worked yesterday.
I don't know if you're telling me or if I'm telling you who's the leader, who's the follower. But you know what?
We're both leaders.
I love that. Just tandem leaders. I'm all about it. Yankees at Blue Jays. We are both taking the Yankees money line. Tell me why you are, and I'll tell you why I am.
All right. First things first, we need to acknowledge the elephant in the room. We need to get it out there. I've hit 7 straight days of the day. I don't want to belabor the point because if I do, that means it's going to lose. But you have hit 7 of your last 8. So it's not like I'm really hot and you're really cold.
6 of your last 6? 7 of your last 7?
7 of my last 7, and you've hit 7 of your last 8. You gave out the Blue Jays last week, and that was your only loser. But besides that, you've had this unbelievable run of plays of the day. And again, the standings, we both have 10 wins. I'm 10-5, you're 10-4. You're up like 10 units and I'm up 5. So that just shows you the betting strategy. The plus money assassin pulls out the quiver and fires her bow and arrow. No plus money today though. We had a gift. Listen, that Cardinals line yesterday was a gift from the gambling gods. Yeah. Wainwright, our boy Waino on the mound, aging like a fine wine, 6 innings strong, and we were getting plus money on a Cardinals team that had won 16 games in a row.
Unbelievable.
Not quite as gift with the line today, but I think this line's off, and here's why. It's Barrios against Cole. And if you were going to ask me, hey, don't look at any numbers, don't look at any stats, Jose Barrios, Garrett Cole, in an important game, playoff atmosphere, who would you want on the hill? I think we would all say Garrett Cole. Absolutely. So the Yankees have the edge on the mound.
Yeah.
When you look at Toronto, what's been great for Toronto this year has been their offense. They lead the league for the full season in WOBA, which is a nerdy term, weighted on base average. It's kind of one of those analytical terms that we like to use in the nerd world. They lead the majors in that category for the season. But over the last 2 weeks, they're not great. 23rd in WOBA over the last 2 weeks. So that prolific Blue Jays lineup has kind of regressed a little bit. And the Yankees have the edge on the mound. Their bullpen's pitching better. I don't understand how we're only laying 15 cents here on the Yanks money line. They're playing really well right now. They're coming off of a sweep in Boston. They followed it up last night with a win in Toronto. And I think they get the job done tonight with their ace on the hill, and they take another step towards the postseason. So we're going with the Yankees.
I love it.
Don't let me down.
I love it. I love it. I mean, I was looking at this. Garrett Cole has limited Toronto's lineup to a 202 average this season. And he's pitched even better during his 9 starts. or his night starts. Excuse me. And I don't know. The Yankees lineup has averaged 2 home runs per game over the past 2 weeks. I just am feeling good about the New York Yankees.
Me too.
I don't know if you're betting this from your heart because you're a big Yanks fan.
Both.
Being from New York. But
Both.
You know what? I'm all about betting from the heart. Most of the time it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. I feel good about the Yankees tonight. We're sitting on them. We're feeling good about it. The New York Yankees are coming away with the dub.
I'll give you a Jbara quote to
Let's
end
hear it.
it because it's a Yankees game.
Yeah.
50% of the time, it works every time. So
I love that so much.
I might have gotten the percentages wrong, but it's somewhere. That's a Yogiism. I don't know. Yogi's one of my favorite players of all time. I wish I had had a chance to meet him. I have not, but I did not get a chance to meet him, unfortunately.
I love it. Jared, what a great way to end the show, though. What a great way
Yogi quotes and Yankees money line.
Can
we make it 8 in a row tonight? Can we get to 8?
Jared, you're on a hot streak. You're feeling it. All right, that's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Happy Hump Day. Jared Smith. I'm Lauren Jbara. Best of luck tonight, you guys. We got Thursday Night Football tomorrow. We'll see you then. Let's get it. Let's bet it.